Alright, so it's now my turn. Well, this time I would like to present about the rating system in assessing speaking or oral performance. As there are several constraints, and due to the nature of speaking itself, scoring speaking or scoring oral production is not as easy as scoring the multiple choice items, and therefore we really need, as a language assessor, we need to employ the term that we often call as holistic scoring. So we see the oral production as a whole, not based on the detailed elements. Like, okay, let's go to the third here. There are detailed elements of oral production like rate of delivery, which can be counted by the formula of numbers of words divided by minutes. Okay, so the percentage, the ratio is measured by dividing the numbers of words and the minutes. So words per minutes, that's the criteria. And then we also can count the lexical density of every sentence, but of course transcription is needed, and therefore it will involve a rather long process. If we are about to score the lexical density, it is quite difficult. Token per lexical item, that's the formula proposed by Holiday. And the next element we can measure is pronunciation. However, as there is no standard of clear pronunciation, and especially considering that language is arbitrary, like here we often hear most Indonesians speaking American accent, but when we go to Liverpool or when we go to Newcastle, instead of saying out, they say out. And 6, 7, 8, we usually say 8, they say it. 6, 7, 8, that's the way they say it. So there is no single right standard for pronunciation, and therefore this aspect cannot be measured. Also, the use of fillers or time stalling device, which is a part of fluency. The more time stalling devices or fillers we find in someone's oral production, the less fluent that person can be judged as. The next one is the employment of compensatory strategy. Okay, communication strategy. Again, it needs to be seen through two perspectives. First one, the more compensatory strategies appeared on someone's oral performance, that might indicate that this person is linguistically creative, as he or she is able to compensate his or her own lack of linguistic repertoire. But also, when we consider the vocabulary size and also the oral skill of this person, the sophistication of word choice, this person is seen as a weak user, as a rather terrible speaker, we have to say. So again, we cannot score someone's speaking skill based on the more detailed elements. This is possible, okay, I would say that this is possible, but this is highly impractical. Then move to the second here. Well, I go kind of bottom up here, but that's fine. Based on general elements of speaking like fluency, accuracy, and comprehensibility. Okay, fluency, rate of delivery, and then use of time stalling device. Paul Nation also proposed a formula for measuring someone's fluency, as you can read on the paper later. Fluency, accuracy, of course, grammatical accuracy, that's the first. And the second one is choice of word, vocabulary. And sometimes we also judge this by several standards of correctness. Like most Indonesians love to say, this is different with. No, it is inaccurate. Westerners, native speakers always say, this is different from, not different with. So, yeah, idiomaticity. Again, accuracy, another factor that we have to consider when we are judging someone's accuracy in speaking is the idiomaticity, the quality of someone's speech based on the native-like, what do we call it? Native-like traits of the oral production itself. However, another factor here exists. The last one is comprehensibility. This one is very much depending on the interlocutor though. Let's say if the interlocutor, if the rater is having problem in listening, hearing, or having problem with accent in comprehending several non-native accents like Indian, Chinese, or even Indonesian, then the result of the judgment might not be very objective, might not be precise. So comprehensibility, again, it is depending on the structure of a sentence and the ability of the rater to hear and comprehend. Then the most objective one, we can say, is based on certain criteria as stated on CEFR, Common European Framework of Reference. Here, this is the example of CEFR table. Okay, we just take the general measurement, general description of each level as we found it in Heaton's book, 1991. However, you can also find a single book published by Cambridge University Press dealing with CEFR more comprehensively. Okay, here is the display. Right. An A1 language learner is only expected to be able to reply in an interview with direct questions in the very slow tempo with non-idiomatic, okay, so with a very low level of idiomaticity, and the topic should not be more extended or more comprehensible than personal detail. Then A2 learners, however, are expected to be able to answer simple questions and simple statements in an interview. That means he or she is expected to be able to communicate his or her own idea